Well, a fine good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Welcome to the Mahoney County Board of Elections. Today is April 2nd. It's about 7 minutes after 8. This meeting is called to order. The director, please call the roll.
Ms. Winbush.
Here.
Mr. Monroe.
Here.
Mr. Wasco.
Here.
Mr. Dietrich.
Here.
We have in front of us the meeting minutes from the March 2nd special regular reorganization meeting.
Move to waive reading.
Second.
Director, call the roll.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Dietrich.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Director, call the roll.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Dietrich.
Yes.
We also have the office expenses and bills for the period March 1 through March 31, 2019. What is the board's pleasure?
Just so our new delegate knows, we get these ahead of time, so we're not just reviewing them 5 minutes into the meeting. These get mailed to us so we can study them. I move to approve.
And you read them thoroughly.
There's a motion to approve the bills and expense. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms.
Any-
Winbush.
Any discussion? Director, call the roll.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Ms. Wasco. Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Dietrich.
Yes.
Under Chairman's report, I've got nothing this morning. I think we're in pretty good shape, preparing for the election. But Joyce, we'll just move right to that. Maybe you can give us an update on preparations for the May primary.
Oh, the May primary is going fine. We are going to do early voting without the envelopes this time. So the voter will come in, go right to the counter, show their ID, because now the new law is the absentees have to show their ID. Show their ID, print off the application. We're going to have a poll book. So we have created this second page where it has all the voters' information. They just have to sign in 2 places, and they get their ballot and go vote.
We created that, or?
Well, no, TriLite created it
Okay.
for us. So it's going to be a much simpler process for early voting. It's going to go much faster. Next year, in November, when we have the regular machines, it'll just be a snap. It'll be so fast, it won't, it'll go.
Are you predicting any kind of a turnout for this?
I imagine it's going to be very low. We have very low absentee applications so far. So only in Struthers do we have a lot of absentee applications, which is not far. So we're moving ahead. We're going to have a meeting on Monday with the girls who work over in that department to go through all the new system and how it's going to work and everything. We're going to use the DS200s. We're going to have a policeman, a sheriff's deputy there every day. We'll unload the ballots, put them in the vault, and secure them for until they actually will, until we can tabulate.
Okay.
So.
And if we were not having the sales tax countywide, would we still be, for that election, we would not, because there's some issues that it's only the county sales tax?
Right, the
Yeah.
whole county,
The whole
except for
county.
Struthers and Youngstown, is the county sales tax.
So if it wasn't for that, we would have just been dealing with Youngstown and
And
Struthers?
Struthers, correct,
Gotcha.
correct.
That's what I thought.
Wow.
So,
The general public doesn't know that, just so you know.
Isn't that something they should know?
Not if you want it to pass.
and also, we are having a conference call today with the Secretary of State at 1:30. We are meeting the prosecutor, our Audrey Tillis, our budget director. We want to get some extra equipment for our backup downtown. But it wasn't in the ES&S contract, so the Secretary of State has to approve that and let us, purchase that equipment. One is a Cisco system, which allows us to transfer our information to the Secretary of State at night. It's an upgrade. I also have a separate backup down there. I back up everything in 3 places. So we just have to get the approval from the Secretary of State, and we have to explain from Jake. We're going actually downtown to the IT department, so he, I don't know all these technical things that they talk about. So Jake is going to actually explain to them exactly what the equipment is used for and why we need it.
Will this be a dedicated backup server downtown?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, because I've always worried about that.
Okay.
That'd
be good. That'd be good.
Yes, so,
If
smart.
if the building burns down,
yeah. Well,
not gonna happen.
we don't have, we have a backup, we have a separate backup for the VR, but we don't have a backup for the election night
Tabulation.
tabulations and things. So that's where we are. And absolutely, their Cisco is so outdated. you know, I think it was one of the first Cisco's that they put in downtown, so those, and that's about it for me.
Very good. Any unfinished business to consider? Any new business? By the way, I understand that Deputy Director McCabe is not here. I guess his
Yes.
mother-in-law's.
His mother-in-law was, she had a serious operation yesterday, they went to
Yes.
Cleveland Clinic, so I don't know, you know, they're either sleeping in or still at the Cleveland Clinic, I'm not sure. I heard from Tom.
Any board communications to report?
None, Mr. Chairman.
Anything for the good of the order? Any public comment this morning? And good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
I do have a question for Joyce. East High School, did we resolve that? I talked to Tony De Niro.
East High School will not budge on, will not budge.
So they did not budge?
They did not budge, no.
Because when I spoke with him, I asked him, I said, well, what if, so that everyone knows, I was talking to the business officer over at the Youngstown City School District, because we're not voting at East High School anymore because of security issues. And they said that entrance is very, very, that's used, they gotta have it. I said, well, when I was on the board, we built the schools so they would have access to rooms for the community and be off access from the children. And even if you even you can move those children to another door, that's not the only door for them to enter and to exit. It is by the athletic department, and I do understand that, but I think for twice a year, the athletes can walk to the other door, because those buildings are built with taxpayer money. And so right now, we are going to have to move the voting location on the east side to an off location, which is not going to be as convenient for everyone who has to vote, because the Youngstown City School District doesn't want to deal with it. And I don't think that's right to the people. So I actually asked Joyce, talked to Tom, and I jumped in. I have a problem with it.
Well, I have a problem with it too, Tracy. The problem is that it just takes one nut to ruin it for everyone.
But that's why we make police officers, law enforcement officers, we can have them there. And I believe Joyce did offer to make that happen.
I did, yes, I did. And
It's-
I'm using one, I'm not using a sheriff's deputy, but I'm using, I think they call them rent-a-cops at Cheney to block, to stand by the door where they can enter the school from the gym, so that no one goes through those doors. Cheney wants us out too, and we're looking at the public on that side of town next time.
Schools don't want
But
us.
let me say it this way, and I want somebody to make this public, but nobody's here, so you can tweet this out, because you're good at it. I have a problem.
The official tweeter.
Yes, you are. I have a problem because then they can take one of their service days and make it on election day. But those are public schools built with public dollars that comes from property taxes. And when voting is dealt with the public, they should have a place to
Can I
vote
ask a
that's
question?
secure
Who
inside their
did you
buildings.
deal with at East High School?
I dealt with Pat Lowry and, I dealt with Pat Lowry in security, De Niro, I think his name is.
Tony.
Tony De Niro, yes.
Is there any chance we could set up another meeting with them?
We have moved other locations too. South Range wanted us out of their school, so we, you know, so.
Too late, Tracy.
But no, it's
We're
not
out
too
of all-
late.
We're out of all the schools.
Well,
Yes,
I
it
don't-
is too late. The letters have gone out. You have to send.
No, I'm not talking about for this year. What I'm saying, even if it's going forward, public school buildings paid with public dollars, with public taxpayers, with property taxes, they can have service days on election days, because we need to make sure it's accommodating, because we shouldn't be paying double taxes
We've tried
on
to do that for
locations.
years for the state.
It's
and
a
Well, then-
losing battle, Tracy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why, because on their security plans that they had to formulate after Parkland, most of the schools, suggestion is not to let voting happen at schools. I'm just
And
telling
my
you.
question is, we can't have an in-service day with no one's in there but teachers?
Are
you kidding
The
me?
state has tried to make in-service days for the whole state.
And they can't do that either?
No, because the schools have to set their calendars so far ahead. You don't know if you're gonna have a special or not have a special. You don't know if you're gonna have a full
If you're
election, or like we might have a part election. It's a very tough
Let me say
thing to
this,
do.
special elections, I can see moving,
What?
but primaries and general elections, which are static, there is no
But if we
reason,
didn't have the
Well-
sales tax on this town, we wouldn't have a full primary.
then we wouldn't have to worry about it, but we would still have a place to
Listen,
go.
it sounds like this is not an issue for
is.
the primary.
Well, but I have a question. What was the alternative to the school?
We went to the Spanish Evangelical Church for 3, and we went to McGuffey for 1. There were 4 in East. So,
McGuffey Plaza for one,
McGuffey Center.
McGuffey
It's
Center for
very nice,
one,
it's very big,
It's nice.
and then the other one's on,
Spanish evangelical.
But it is up off, and it's a new church that came up off of a, they built the road to get to the church and built it where nobody knows the church is. So it's
where's that off of is it?
It's off of is it McCartney Road? But you
Tracy,
you gotta know ESA is there.
Tracy, it's too late is the problem.
Hey, there's always November.
I hate switching voting places for people, that confuses them.
I'm glad we switched voting places in North Lima, because the ones that are on the far side, like Columbiana County, they are gonna go to a much better place. They're gonna go to the Vineyard to vote. You know, and it's a much better place, it's closer to where they live and everything. And the other one is just the church right across the street from the school. So, there really are no issues in North Lima with those areas. Cheney, like I said, Cheney wants us out in November, you know.
And there are other locations that that we can go in other areas, but in the inner city, it's very, very hard for people to get out to vote as it is. It's very, very hard to find a location, and to put a location in the middle of the woods outside of where people don't know. I love that people will find out where Pastor Rojas's church is, but it'll be very difficult for me to find from where I live.
I don't know what to
I'm
tell you.
done.
Okay. Our next meeting
Well,
is set
before
for.
we say that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I want to congratulate Joyce for being nominated as one of the nominees for Athena Award. I
Oh,
saw
that-
Congratulations.
That was this morning's news,
Congratulations.
yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't realize that. Someone texted me and I read the paper on Sunday. I'm like, oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna go this year then.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I
take
put
an
it
ad
on
out.
the
I think the board is gonna go on with that.
Yeah.
What's the award?
Athena.
It's like the outstanding woman of Mahoney
year.
County for her
Well,
service.
there are 8 or 10 women.
Yeah, but you've done a lot for the county.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
And then then there's the chief that shows up, Joyce.
yeah, well, we'll see.
I mean, you definitely would have won the Beatrice Award.
Yes.
Joyce, there's a program book that we could buy ads in. Let me know. I want the party to buy it.
I have to call them. I don't know what I have to do.
I wanna
I'm
buy
sure
it.
there's
Yeah,
things that they're
there's-
gonna ask me
yeah.
to do, but I have to call them. I was gonna call them today.
Well,
Call Athena.
yeah, hold that party business
Yeah.
after we adjourn. Our next meeting is set for election eve, Monday the 6th. This will be this will be our regular adjourned meeting prior to the primary election day.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
No, I
There's
was
a motion,
down.
there's a second. Director-
Miss Monroe, Miss Winbush, Miss Winbush.
Now?
Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Well, I
Yes.
Mr.
I am
Yes.
Miss Monroe.
Yeah.
Mark won't let me change my
We are
name back.
adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
6 o'clock. Because I'll have better meeting at 5.
He won't let me change my name back.
You know what, I was